The Indian Air Force, armed with the F-35, can dominate the LOC and entire Pakistani airspace. This according to Israel. In fact, Israel is urging its strategic ally India to buy the American F-35 stealth fighter jets to have total air superiority across the LOC with Pakistan as well as the India-China LAC border, highlighting how the F-35s have been helping Israel dominate their hostile neighbors. The Israeli ambassador to India, Reuven Azar, told news agency IANS, quote, "I think that the advanced technologies in the military realm are very important to create an edge over adversaries. We already have received several squadrons of the F-35s and they are proving themselves to be very efficient in creating Israeli supremacy over the skies of the Middle East," unquote. He implies that if India decides to buy the F-35s, then it will make the Indian Air Force unbeatable in South Asia and the entire Indian Ocean region. After America, Israel had been the first country globally to receive the Lockheed Martin F-35, and since then, the Israelis have used this stealth fighter jet to tilt the scales in their own favor in multiple different conflicts. So will an Indian F-35 prove to be superior to the Chinese J-20s and the Pakistani J-35s in future operations? Now, just a few days ago, Israelis flew 2 F-35s along with 2 F-15s in a show of force over Lebanon. Back in 2018, the F-35s saw their first combat mission when Israel carried out a successful mission in Syria. Again in 2018, Israeli Air Force flew 3 F-35s on a mission near Iranian capital Tehran and successfully evaded any radar or missile detection. This led to Khamenei even firing the Iranian Air Force chief. Just last year, Israeli F-35s again evaded any detection, entered Iranian airspace and then destroyed all S-300 air defense systems. The stealth fighter was also deployed to take out 2 Iranian drones carrying weapons to Gaza. A former F-35 pilot told the Eurasian Times, quote, "These high-tech fighters let Israel zero in on terror groups, keeping the damage low and the civilian risks in check. It's a big deal, especially in packed places," unquote. One of the Israeli fighters even shot down a Houthi cruise missile, and Tel Aviv received a new squadron of the F-35 stealth fighters last year in August. In all these operations, the F-35 proved to be untouchable by contemporary air defense systems, and rightly so. It has a radar cross-section of 0.005 meters square, which is even smaller and lesser than the radar cross-section of a bird at 0.01 meters square. So will the Indian Air Force be able to dominate its own hostile neighbors, Pakistan and China, with the F-35? Pakistan seems to think so. Even Pakistani Foreign Ministry expressed shock over Donald Trump's offer to sell the F-35 to India, stating, quote, "Pakistan is deeply concerned over the planned transfer of advanced military technologies to India. Such steps accentuate military imbalances in the region and undermine strategic stability," unquote. Meanwhile, a retired Pakistani Major General admitted that India could use the F-35 to carry out covert operations in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and Gilgit with ease. This admission by Islamabad is a good signal that India should probably go for it. Now, the purpose of stealth fighters is not dogfights. It is to penetrate enemy radar detection zones and neutralize all air defense systems and carry out surgical strikes on high-value targets like command centers. Once air defense has been neutralized, then even 4.5 generation fighters like the Rafale, Sukhoi 30s and even the Tejas can be used for dogfights and establishing air superiority. So you don't need advanced stealth fighter jets in large numbers. Even 3 to 4 squadrons will be enough to achieve this goal. On the other hand, the stealth qualities of Chinese J-20s are questionable, since Indian Air Force's Sukhoi 30 MKIs have reportedly been able to track the J-20s on their radars flying over Tibet. Meanwhile, the Chinese FC-35, which Pakistan is buying, is reportedly based on F-35 blueprints stolen by China and is a completely unknown entity as of now, though it would be foolish to underestimate the threat posed by Chinese stealth jets. Thus, Israel's advice for India to buy the F-35 seems to have sound reasoning. The other more appealing option for India is Putin's offer of 100% tech transfer for the Russian stealth fighter jet, the Sukhoi 57. Russia has even proposed establishing a production line in India. And while India may still decide to buy either the Sukhoi 57 Felon, the fact is that Russia has not used it heavily in the Ukraine conflict and only limited it for long-range precision strikes. Nor has the Russian Air Force established total air superiority over Ukraine. Thus, its capabilities are not as well recorded as the F-35s. Still, either the F-35 or the Russian Su-57, a stealth fighter jet is much needed for the world's largest arms importer, India, who's facing a shortage of fighter jet squadrons. F-35 integrates stealth technology with advanced sensors, network combat capabilities, and superior situational awareness. Unlike conventional fighter jets, the F-35 can operate undetected at supersonic speeds with a single Pratt & Whitney 135 engine that produces 125 kilonewtons of thrust that rockets up to 191 kilonewtons with afterburners, which is reportedly the highest in the world. The F-35 can also fly at speeds of Mach 1.6 or 1975 kilometers per hour and a range of 1500 kilometers, which puts all of Pakistani air bases and Chinese bases in occupied Tibet well within its range. However, I feel if India does go for the F-35, then it should be on one condition, that the United States will not later sell it to Islamabad as well. Meanwhile, India-Israel defense ties remain robust and are only growing stronger. Half of India's air defense is of Israeli heritage. The majority of Indian warships carry Israeli radars. Accounting for 37% of Israel's total arms exports, India has become the largest foreign buyer of Israeli weapons and military equipment. Israel, along with the United States and the UAE, is part of what diplomatic circles name the West Asian Quad or the I2U2. Meanwhile, with 31 operational fighter jet squadrons against the sanctioned strength of 42 to face a two-front war, the Indian Air Force has the lowest squadron strength since the 1965 war. Moreover, older squadrons, including the MiG-21s, MiG-29s, Jaguar and Mirage 2000s, will all be phased out within the next decade. So India needs new fighter jets, but should it be the F-35s? Certainly, China does not want India to buy this stealth fighter jet. Chinese Foreign Ministry also reacted to Donald Trump's offer to sell this jet to India, saying, quote, "Asia-Pacific region is a stellar example of peace and development, not an arena for geopolitical games," unquote. Now this after Chinese salami slicing attempts at the LAC while using knives, axes and water cannons to threaten the Philippine Navy. The Modi government now has a huge decision to make. The Indian Air Force has avoided using American fighter jets so far. However, it does operate a variety of other US aircraft, including the Apache helicopters, the Chinook, Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft, or the Super Hercules or Globemaster military aircrafts. F-35 purchase could also help India evade Trump tariffs and balance the trade relations. Moreover, the US is strongly advocating New Delhi to pursue the deal, as India is the only Quad member which does not operate the F-35. In any potential conflict with China, integrating India to the F-35 program will greatly improve the ability of the Quad forces to operate in unison. However, it will be a strategic decision as well as a military one. On one hand is the F-35, a proven world-class stealth fighter, and on the other hand is a time-tested ally, Russia, with its 100% tech transfer offer for the Sukhoi 57. Apart from the strategic benefits which the F-35 tops, India will also have to consider factors like off-the-shelf price, technologies being offered, and life cycle costs. The Sukhoi 57 is significantly cheaper, with an estimated unit cost of $40 million less than the price of an F-35. Maybe India should buy 2 to 3 squadrons of both these fighter jets and boost numbers with indigenous fighter jets like the Tejas Mk1As, Tejas Mark IIs, and the AMCA to make the Indian Air Force truly unstoppable. So should India buy the F-35? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button, and subscribe to Inconnect News.